Hey guys, Travis Daggett, 818 Investments, Forefront Enterprises. Just had the RIA, we have Northwest RIA, it's a chapter of the National RIA, and we had our deal analysis and discussion meeting yesterday evening. And one of the things we talked about is what I want to talk a little bit about today is marketing. Everybody's looking for deals, and there's a lot of different ways to get deals, but no matter what, you have to spend time and or money marketing, finding deals. Now that money and time could be in the form of making a ton of offers. That's really a form of marketing if you're making 100 offers, say, to get one, whether it's HUD or something else like that. The most common form of marketing is direct mail. So there was someone at our group that said, hey, I just mailed 1,000 yellow letters and I got 26 responses and one possible deal out of that. So I thought it was a good intro to talk about marketing. So the first thing you need to determine, and this is true whether it's about real estate investing or any business, is determine who your target market is. Who's your audience? You could mail 10,000 letters to some, to a list, but if they're not a list of people that you actually want to talk to, that are buyers for your product, or in our case, that are sellers of a house that you want, you just wasted $10,000 at $1 a letter on average. So you have to determine, who do you want to market to? What are you looking for? Are you looking for places with equity? Are you looking for places with no equity? And you want to do short sales, for example. And then you can break it down within that list, of course, equity or no equity. So that's the first thing. And the second thing you want to determine is what kind of response do you want to get? And I'll give you an example. A yellow letter, which is just kind of a industry term for a handwritten letter, typically on yellow paper, yellow lined legal paper, and usually with red ink, and it could be in a hand addressed envelope, hand stamped. Those typically get a high open rate because it looks like an invitation or something like that. However, the downside can be that you can get a lot of junk. In other words, a lot of people may respond, but they may have places that you don't want, especially if you've mailed to a general list. Or they may respond and tell you to leave me alone, or they're just curious. What's this all about? Which can be a big waste of time. Now that's okay, and it's often where people start, just to get a big response and kind of see where they're at. So if we talked about let's say 26 calls out of 1,000, that's a 2.6% response rate, which isn't great. It's okay, and certainly a double-digit response rate, 10%, would be stellar. And industry standard is probably 1% or less. So out of 1,000 letters, only getting 10 responses. The biggest, though, is not the response rate. The biggest thing we should look at is conversion rate. Out of those 1,000 letters, how many deals did we get? If we got no deals, well, it doesn't really matter how many people responded. Isn't that true? It just matters how many deals we got out of it. So that's something that's important to look at. And the other thing you consider when you're marketing, as Jim Collins talks about in, I think it was Great by Choice, he talks about firing bullets before cannons. So what does he mean by that? What he means is, successful companies, successful people, they don't say, let's see, I'm going to start a direct mail campaign. I'm going to mail thousands of letters to this list. No. They mail hundreds. They test it. They get the results. They see what kind of infrastructure they need in place. Then they mail thousands. See the difference? If you get let's say you mail 1,000 letters, you get an awesome response rate, 100 calls. Wow, 100 calls. That's going to take some time to follow up with. So maybe you need an answering service. The due diligence on those houses. I mean, we're talking about not only the phone calls, but we're talking about pulling comps, determining value, contractors looking at the house. Boy, depending on the project, it could be surveys, it could be all kinds of work to do your due diligence on each property. So do you have the infrastructure to handle the response rate? Because if you don't, and you get 100 calls and 99 of them you don't get to for months, they're gone. So that's firing bullets before cannons and building it up. And it's hard to be patient, I know, especially when you want to do a deal, but if you want to have a long-term sustainable success in your business, really that's the way you got to do it. A good way to go out of business quick and to go bankrupt is to fire cannons at anything that moves, and 10,000 or thousands of letters can be a way to do that for sure. So I hope that helps as far as marketing in general and direct mail specifically in regards to real estate investing. I'd love to hear your feedback. Comments would be great. Travis Daggett, 818 Investments and Forefront Enterprises. Talk to you later.